The sun appeared on the horizon, spilling its golden light over the African savanna. The vast expanse of plains seemed endless, punctuated by acacia trees that cast long shadows across the land. In this sun-drenched kingdom, a mighty lion named Ragnar patrolled his territory with an imposing aura. His mane, a fiery halo that glittered in the morning sun, marked him as a formidable presence among the wildlife. Every step he took was deliberate, the muscles in his body moving with an elegance that revealed both strength and grace. As he advanced, the other animals instinctively fell silent, noticing the aura of dominance that surrounded him. Ragnar stood at the top of a small rise, surveying his domain. The distant hills shimmered in the heat, and the sounds of the savanna began to awaken, the rustling of grass, the chirping of birds, and the distant bustle of monkeys. But beneath the surface, there was a tension that Ragnar felt in his bones. The hyenas that prowled the edges of their territory had become bolder in recent weeks, emboldened by whispers of dissension within their ranks. They spoke of Ragnar with a mixture of fear and disdain, their stories intertwined with exaggeration and bravado. He had heard the stories, always told in whispering tones, of their ferocity and prowess in battle. To the hyenas, he was not just a predator, was a legend. As he continued his patrol, Ragnar caught a scent that heightened his senses. The scent of carrion hung in the air, a tempting promise of a feast. His stomach growled, reminding him that a lion's life was one of both majesty and necessity. He decided to follow the scent, moving with the stealth of a shadow through the tall grass. Still, even as he focused on his next meal, his mind remained alert to the changing dynamics of the savanna. Not far away, Zuri, the cunning leader of the hyena clan, watched him from a distance. Hidden behind the gnarled roots of a baobab tree, her eyes sparkled with a mixture of admiration and envy. She had studied Ragnar for a long time, learning his habits, his strengths and weaknesses. Zuri wasn't just a hyena. She was a strategist, a mind capable of turning the tide in her favor. Her clan had suffered losses to Ragnar's band over the years, but Zuri was determined to reclaim what was rightfully theirs. "Look at him," Zuri whispered to her closest confidant, a burly hyena named Kito. "So proud, so sure of himself. He believes he has nothing to fear from us." Kito laughed darkly, his voice low and husky. "He may be strong, but strength alone will not keep his throne. He underestimates us, Zuri." Guys, look, I'm just starting now, on this journey now, that I want to start my YouTube dreams, and you are watching. Here I am, having this job, make the video for you, but I love it here. And if you want to help me achieve my dream, sign up for my channel, because this way, you will help me, and give me strength to continue this work. Zuri nodded, her mind racing with possibilities. "We need to sow doubt among your pack. If Ragnar thinks his position is secure, he won't see the storm coming." His eyes narrowed as he formulated his plan. "Tonight, we will attack. While he hunts, we will send some of our fastest to invade his territory and create chaos. That will send a message." Kito smiled, excitement coursing through him. "And when he comes to face us, we will be ready. The time for fear is over." As they plotted, Ragnar returned to his band after a successful hunt. The sun hung low in the sky, painting the savanna in shades of orange and pink. His heart swelled with pride as he approached the small pride of lions that awaited him. They were a loyal group, and he always considered himself their protector. As he approached, the lionesses raised their heads, their eyes shining with admiration. "Ragnar," called Lyra, a strong and spirited lioness, her voice resonating with warmth. "You brought a feast." The other lions gathered around, their tails flicking in anticipation. Ragnar had hunted well, A large antelope lay at his feet. His pack, though smaller than it had been in years past, was fiercely devoted to him. "I will share the spoils," Ragnar declared, his voice deep and commanding. "But first, we must talk about the hyenas. Your boldness grows every day, and we cannot afford to be complacent." The atmosphere changed when Ragnar spoke. The pack had always been united under his leadership, but the mention of the hyenas sent a wave of unrest through them. Memories of past skirmishes and losses hung heavy in the air. "Do not worry, my friends," Ragnar continued, sensing her anxiety. "We have faced them before, and we will face them again. I will not let them threaten our home." "But they have become bolder," pointed out Tariq, a young lion with a fierce heart, but little experience. "What if they try to take our puppies? They are cunning and unpredictable." "Then we must be vigilant," Ragnar replied, his gaze steady. "I will not let them harm our family. We will protect what is ours." Together. The pack nodded, their spirits lifted by Ragnar's confidence. They shared stories of past victories, remembering how Ragnar had defended them against overwhelming odds. Each story served to reinforce his position as protector, and for a moment, everyone was united in their belief in him. As night fell and the stars began to shine in the sky, the savanna was flooded with twilight. The lionesses began to devour the flesh, their powerful jaws tearing the flesh apart with pleasure. Ragnar watched them, his heart swelling with pride and a fierce sense of duty. He knew the bond they shared was worth fighting for, worth risking everything against the imminent threat of Zuri and her clan. But inside him, an uncomfortable thought persisted. Hyenas were not mere nuisances. They were cunning and ingenious. Zuri's intelligence was well known, and Ragnar couldn't shake the feeling that she was up to something, a strategy that could tip the scales in his favor. He decided to pay more attention, to stay ahead. Under the cover of night, the savanna turned into a realm of shadows and whispers. Zuri gathered her loyal followers at the base of a large baobab tree, its massive trunk providing a sense of shelter from the prying eyes of the savanna. The moon hung high, casting a silvery glow that illuminated the determined faces of his clan. "Listen carefully," Zuri began, her voice low but commanding, cutting through the murmurs of her gathered relatives. "Ragnar the lion thinks he is the king of this land, but he is not invincible. Tonight, we attack where he is weakest." The hyenas exchanged glances, their ears pricked in anticipation. They were tired of living in fear, constantly avoiding the mighty lion and his pride. Zuri, ever the strategist, had devised a plan that could shift the balance of power. "We will distract Ragnar," she continued, walking slowly, "while some of our strongest invade his cubs. Your pack will be too busy defending the young to realize the true threat until it is too late." A robust hyena named Kovu stepped forward, his eyes shining with excitement. "But what if Ragnar discovers our plan? He's cunning, Zuri. What if he comes after us before we can act?" Zuri's gaze hardened, her resolve unshakable. "That's why we need to be quick and silent. We will lure him away from the pit under the pretext of a false attack on the outskirts of his territory. Once he's distracted, we attack." We took the cubs and disappeared into the night. By dawn, we will have turned the tide in our favor. The clan erupted in a mix of growls and howls, their spirits ignited by Zuri's bold words. They had seen Ragnar's ferocity firsthand. It was time to reclaim his place on the savanna. Meanwhile, Ragnar lay on a rocky ledge, the warm breeze ruffling his tawny mane. He had felt an unsettling change in the savanna, a shift in the air that whispered of unrest. The hyenas, once shy in their approach, now prowled more boldly, and their laughs were sharper, tinged with a newfound confidence. He lifted his head, eyes half closed as he scanned the horizon. "Something is happening," Ragnar muttered to himself, the weight of his role as protector heavy on his shoulders. His pack depended on him to keep them safe, and he would not fail them. He remembered the last skirmish with the hyenas. His cunning ways had cost him dearly, and he would not allow it to happen again. "Ragnar!" a voice cut into his thoughts. It was Talia, a fierce lioness and one of his most trusted advisors. She approached him with a worried expression, her golden eyes reflecting the moonlight. "The hyenas are becoming bolder. We need to remain vigilant." "I feel it too," Ragnar replied, standing up, his muscles tense and ready. "They are plotting something. We need to prepare our defenses. The strength of a lion is in its pride, and I will not let them threaten what we have built." As the night deepened, Zuri and her clan moved stealthily across the plains, their bodies low to the ground, blending into the shadows. They approached the edge of Ragnar's territory, where the scent of lion hung thick in the air. Zuri's heart raced with adrenaline as they approached the den where the lion cubs slept, oblivious to the imminent danger. "Remember, quick and silent," she whispered to her clan. "We went in, got the puppies, and left. No heroism." The hyenas nodded, their resolve strengthening. Zuri led the way, her instincts sharp as she navigated the tall grass. The cubs were cuddled together, their innocent breaths rising and falling in a rhythm that spoke of safety and comfort. Just as they reached the edge of the pit, a rustle in the grass made Zuri stop, her ears flapping. "Did you hear that?" she hissed, looking at her clan. They froze, straining to listen. The savanna was alive with sound, but one noise cut through the cacophony, a low, deep, resonant growl. Ragnar had watched from a distance, his instincts telling him that the hyenas were up to something. He had approached, stealthily observing her actions. When he heard Zuri's whispered command, he felt a surge of anger. They dared to threaten his band, to invade the sanctity of his family. With a quick, powerful leap, Ragnar ran toward the pit, roaring a warning that echoed across the savanna. "Get away from my cubs!" The hyenas scattered in panic, not expecting the lion to be so close. Zuri's heart raced as she shouted, "Withdraw, withdraw!" But it was too late. Ragnar's ferocity was upon them. "Ragnar!" one of the hyenas screeched, desperately trying to escape. But Ragnar was relentless. He charged forward, slashing at the nearest hyena, sending it rolling away with a cry of pain. "Protect the cubs," Ragnar commanded, his voice booming as he positioned himself between the pit and the retreating hyenas. The cubs scrambled, their innocent eyes wide with confusion and fear. "Stay back," he growled, his fierce gaze fixed on Zuri, who had stood a moment too long assessing the situation. "You won't take anything from me tonight." Zuri's heart raced as she realized the gravity of the situation. "It was a distraction," she screamed, trying to regain control. "And we didn't want to cause any harm. Our fight is with you, lion." Ragnar's eyes narrowed. "Your fight is with me, but you dare threaten my young people? You will answer for it." In the chaos, one of the cubs, a little golden furball named Leo, ventured too close to the conflict, his curiosity overriding his instinct for caution. Ragnar's heart raced when he saw the little one approaching danger. "Leo, come back," he roared, panic coursing through his veins. With a sudden burst of energy, Zuri's clan began to retreat, realizing that their plan had failed. They had come for the cubs, but now they were fleeing the lion's wrath. "We can't stay here," Kovu shouted, darting off into the night. Zuri hesitated, torn between her desire for revenge and her instinct to protect her own. But when she heard Ragnar's fierce growl and saw him circling his cubs, she knew the night was lost. "Back off," she commanded, her voice tight with frustration. As the hyenas fled, Ragnar stood, a fierce protector, his heart pounding in his chest. He quickly gathered the cubs around him, making sure they were safe. "You're safe now," he reassured them, though his mind was racing with thoughts of Zuri and her treacherous plan. The night air was heavy with tension, and as the stars twinkled above, Ragnar felt the weight of the savanna's shifting balance. He had defended his pack, but Zuri's threat was far from over. Determination settled in his bones as he realized that this was just the beginning of a war for survival, loyalty, and power in the heart of the savanna. The sun was lowering in the sky, casting long shadows across the savanna as Ragnar stood atop a rocky ledge, surveying the vast expanse that had been his territory for so long. The air was thick with tension, and the distant sounds of the savanna, birds chirping, grass rustling, seemed muted, as if nature itself was holding its breath. Ragnar's heart pounded at the thought of the stolen cub. He couldn't shake the image of the helpless little being taken by Zuri's cunning hyenas. He turned to his loyal companions, a group of fierce females and rugged males that formed the backbone of his pack. "We need to act quickly," he said, his voice low but firm. "Zuri thinks she can play with us, that she can take what's ours without consequences. Let's show her the strength of our unity." A lioness named Kayla stepped forward, her fur shining in the dying light. "What do you propose, Ragnar? The hyenas will be on high alert after your invasion. We can't just attack blindly." Ragnar nodded, understanding the weight of his words. "I do not intend to attack blindly. We will gather allies among the other animals of the savanna. We need to create a coalition, something Zuri would never expect. If we attack when they least expect it, we may catch them off guard." The lions murmured amongst themselves, their eyes shining with determination. Ragnar's plan resonated among them. They weren't just fighting for a cub, but for their pack, for their way of life. He continued, "I will go to the elephants in the north. They are fierce and strong, and their presence will intimidate Zuri's clan. Kayla, you will rally the cheetahs. Your speed will be crucial. We need a united front." Kayla's eyes shone with a mixture of admiration and determination. "Consider done, Ragnar." As the sun set and the moon began to rise, Ragnar set off northward, his heart full of purpose. The cool night air brushed against his fur, invigorating him with each step. He reached the edge of the elephant herd's territory, where massive shadows moved gracefully in the moonlight, their silhouettes imposing against the starry sky. "Grand Matriarch," Ragnar called, his voice echoing in the stillness. A moment later, the herd split, revealing the formidable figure of the matriarch, a wise and ancient elephant named Tandi. His eyes, deep and knowing, watched Ragnar with curiosity. "Ragnar, king of beasts," she rumbled, her voice deep and steady. "What brings you to our domain at this hour?" Ragnar stepped forward, his stance respectful but assertive. "Tandi, I come to seek your alliance. The hyena clan, led by Zuri, has become a threat not only to my pack, but to the balance of the savanna. They have stolen one of my cubs, and I fear this is just the beginning of your aggression." The matriarch's expression hardened. Hyenas are cunning creatures. They thrive on chaos and fear. "But tell me, what do you offer in exchange for our help?" Ragnar felt a flash of uncertainty. "I knew that elephants valued strength and loyalty. I offer you our protection. Together we can ensure that the hyenas do not overstep their bounds. With your strength and our speed, we can restore peace to the savanna." Tandi considered his words, his trunk bouncing thoughtfully. "Very well, Ragnar. We will stand by you against the hyenas. But know this, our species has a long memory. If you prove yourself unworthy of our alliance, we will not hesitate to withdraw." Ragnar lowered his head in gratitude. "I promise you, Tandi, our bond will be one of strength and honor. We will not fail." As he returned to his pack, a sense of hope blossomed within him. He could almost feel the cub's weight in his paws again, the warmth of its small body against his side. they would get the little one back. Meanwhile, Zuri was enjoying the consequences of her successful attack. The hyena clan gathered around her, their voices a cacophony of laughter and howls, reveling in her triumph. Zuri stood tall, her chest puffed out with pride, but beneath her bravado, a flicker of doubt troubled her. "Long live Zuri!" one of the young hyenas shouted, jumping around him excitedly. "We showed those lions who's boss." Zuri forced a smile, but her thoughts turned to Ragnar. He wouldn't let it go cheap. "Yes, yes," she replied, trying to sound enthusiastic. "But we must remain vigilant. Ragnar will not let this go unpunished. He will come after us." One of his most trusted lieutenants, a cunning hyena named Kovu, stepped forward. "Let him come. We have the advantage now. We can fool those fools at any turn. But what if he gathers allies?" Zuri shot back, her tone suddenly serious. "Lions are not the only powerful creatures in the savannah. If he goes after the elephants or cheetahs, we could be in grave danger." Kovu shrugged dismissively. "What are a few elephants compared to our numbers? We are fast and cunning. We can ambush them before they even know we are there." Zuri hesitated, feeling the weight of leadership pressing down on her. "I need to know that everyone is ready to fight. We cannot underestimate Ragnar. He is strong and smart, and he will not rest until he gets his cub back." The hyenas nodded, a chorus of affirmations echoing through the night. Still, Zuri's heart sank as she noticed the gleam of fear in the eyes of some of her clansmen. The victory felt hollow, and the laughter that had once been so infectious now felt like an echo of something she feared would escape. As the night deepened, the tension in the savannah thickened. Ragnar returned to his band, reuniting them under the cover of the stars. "We will attack at dawn," he declared, his voice firm. "Not only will we rescue our cub, but we will send a message to Zuri and her clan that we will no longer tolerate their actions." The lions nodded, a sense of unity growing among them. They knew the path ahead would be fraught with danger, but they also understood that they were fighting for something bigger than themselves. They fought for their band, for their home, and for the future of the savannah. As the moonlight bathed the savannah in silver, both Ragnar and Zuri lay awake, each in their own world of thoughts, preparing for the battle that lay ahead. In the silence of the night, the heart of the savannah pulsed with anticipation, echoing the clash of two powerful forces that would soon collide. The dance of survival, loyalty, and power had begun, and neither would back down without a fight. Ragnar lay beneath the shade of an acacia tree, his golden fur glistening in the dappled light that filtered through the leaves. The air was thick with tension, and the distant sounds of the savannah seemed different that day, more ominous. His band, once a bastion of strength and unity, wait until tomorrow for part 2. Guys, and you liked the video, if you want to help me, sign up for my channel, because this way you will help me and give me strength to continue this work.